So for today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this Loomigurumi Princess Rapunzel inspired by Tsum Tsum. So she was highly requested for me to make a tutorial for, and well, here's the tutorial pretty much. So she is my original design, and of course, complete credits go to Craft Muse for the basic Tsum Tsum body pattern. Yeah, so I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, so for the materials. So for the materials, you're gonna need a type of hook. You can use a rainbow loom or crochet hook, whatever type of hook you feel comfortable using. You're gonna need 2 pony beads for her eyes. You're also gonna need a C-clip, and you're also gonna need something to stuff her with. I'm gonna be using polyfiber. If you don't have polyfiber, you can use anything soft, like cotton balls, napkins, tissue, anything like that would work completely fine. And now for the colors. So for the colors, these are the colors I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the mango from a rainbow loom. And for the skin tone here, I'm using the lightest skin tone from the rainbow loom skin tone mix. For the dress, I'm using opaque white. You also need it for this part over here. Pastel purple and opaque purple. And you're also going to need 2 black bands for the eyelashes. Ooh. And then for the flowers, the colors that I used were turquoise, electric glow purple, normal opaque pink, and then just white. You don't have to use those specific colors for the flowers. You can go ahead and do them whatever color you want. You can make them green. You can make some green, maybe a little blue flower or yellow, however you want. Doesn't really matter what colors you use. But yeah, so those are the colors and materials you're going to need for her. And that's about it. So we can go ahead and get started on making her. So we're going to start off by making her arms and legs. And her arms and legs, they're just a magic ring of 6 stitches. And all 4 of the magic rings for her arms and legs, they're going to be in skin tone. So I'm going to make one of the 4 magic rings with you, and then you'll pause the video and make the remaining 3 magic rings you have to make in your skin tone color. So for your magic ring, start off by wrapping your band around 2 times. You're going to slide a band through your cap band there, and then reclaim, and then slide it through like you were doing a slip knot, but not super tight. And then you're going to go ahead and slide another band just through the cap band, reclaim, and then slide the top loop through the bottom 2 loops. And then you're going to repeat that 4 more times. 1, I did 1 more than I was supposed to. There we go. So now you should have 6 stitches, and you want to count the little V shapes here on the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6 is right here on your hook. So I'm going to go ahead and place this on my holding hook here. And now you're going to go ahead and pause the video and then make the remaining 3 magic rings you have to make for her arms and legs, and then come back when you're done. Now we're going to go ahead and make her flowers. So for her flowers, I'm going to be making them the exact same color as I did for this one, which was turquoise, purple, the electric glow purple, pink, and white. So I'm just going to make the exact same color, and I'm going to be making 5 flowers. You can make more or less and whatever colors you want. So for the flowers, you're going to want to make a cap band. Wrap your band around your hook 2 times. And then you're going to want to kind of double wrap your band, sort of like that. So then it's kind of like 2 bands when it's just 1. And then you're going to want to slide your cap band onto that. And then you're just going to slide that down. And so then you can have more space. And then you're going to repeat that 4 more times. Now what we're gonna do is, you should have 5 now, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these on your hook. And you're gonna grab another band, just a single. So right there, I'm using the turquoise band to close it off because it's the same color of the flower, and that would be fine for the flowers I put on the front. But for the flowers that you put on the braid, I would recommend to use a hair color band to close it off instead of the color you used for that flower, because it comes in so much handy and it's less noticeable when you're trying to put the flower on the braid because it's the exact same color. Get them all on there. Like that. And then reclaim this on your hook. So then you'll have something that looks a bit like this. And then you're gonna do a slip knot and then pull it really tight. So then if you pull it tight enough, look for this one, I wasn't able to pull it tight enough, so I have a tiny little hole. But if you pull it nice and tight, there's no hole. Hopefully you can see the difference there. Hole, no hole. So you want to make sure you pull it nice and tight. And then that's pretty much your flower. So now I have all my finished flowers done. Now you're gonna go ahead, pause the video, and then make as many flowers as you want. So go ahead and make whatever flowers you want in whatever colors you want, and then come back when you're done. Now we can go ahead and start making her body, and we're gonna start off with our skin tone. But before we start making her, we're gonna quickly make her ears and get her eyes ready. So for her eyes, if you're using beads, just go ahead and quickly slide your skin tone band through. If you're using safety eyes, you'll add those in later. And if you're using wrap bands, go ahead and get those ready. So I have my eyes ready now. And I'm going to put those over here. And for her ears, we're going to wrap our band around her hook 2 times. And then we're just going to slide a band through. And then that's your ear right there. And you can just, oh, I accidentally slid that off real quick. There we go, and then that's your ear. And you can go ahead and put that to the side. And then make another one. Okay. So I got my ears and my eyes ready, and now we can start making her. So we're gonna start off by making a magic ring of 6 stitches. So make your magic ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need one more. So now I have my magic ring of 6 stitches, and to make sure, I'm going to count the V shapes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to go ahead and put my C-clip on the band that's on my hook there, and we can move on to row 2. Row 2 is an increase around to get to 12 stitches. So your increase, you do single crochet in this first stitch here, go back in, make another single crochet, and that's your increase, and then go into the next stitch and then just repeat that same step until you've made it all around to your C-clip or stitch marker. So I just finished up row 2. And now you should have 12 stitches, so count to make sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 is on your hook here. And now we're going to move on to row 3. And row 3 is going to be single crochet increase around to get to 18 stitches. And we're also going to be adding in our eyes in stitches 3 and 9. So our first stitch is going to be a single. Our second stitch is an increase. And our third stitch is going to be a single, and we're also going to be adding in our eye on here. Our fourth stitch is going to be an increase. Our fifth stitch is a single. Our sixth stitch is an increase. Our seventh stitch is a single. Our eighth stitch is an increase. Our ninth stitch is going to be single, and we're going to be adding in our other eye here. So slide it through your stitch, and as if you're doing a normal single crochet. Our 10th stitch is going to be an increase. Our 11th stitch is going to be a single. And our 12th stitch, our last stitch, is going to be an increase. Oh, my C-clip fell off. So now I want to make sure you have 18 stitches, and 1, 2, 3. Your fourth stitch is going to be really tiny right here because of the bead. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Number 13 is going to be also really tiny because of the bead. 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 is on your hook. And now we're going to move on to row 4. And that's going to be single crochet, increase around to get to 24 stitches. So you're going to do a single, increase, then our tiny stitch is going to be a single, and then single, increase, single, increase, single, increase, and then our tiny stitch, stitch 13, is going to be a single, then single, increase, single, single, and then increase on our last stitch. And then that's my last stitch. So now I want to make sure, you want to count to make sure you have 24 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And number 24 is on your hook. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a single, for row 5, we're going to do single crochet around to get to 24 stitches. And we're also going to be adding in our ears in this row in stitches 5 and 15. So it's just single crochet around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is stitch 5, and I'm going to add my ear in this stitch here. And it's just like doing a single crochet. That was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. I'm going to add my other ear in this stitch. 15. So now I can just do single crochet up until my C-clip. Okay, so you can count your stitches just to make sure you have 24 stitches, but I'm not going to for the sake of this video. And now we're going to move on to row 6. Row 6, you're going to need your hair color and your skin tone. And we're going to do single crochet around for 24 stitches. And we're going to do 4 yellow. Well, I'm doing mango. 10 skin and then 10 yellow. So you want to do your colors, your slip stitch. So grab your hair color, slide it through your stitch and the loop on your hook. Reclaim. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to switch back to our skin tone for 10 stitches. So do another slip stitch. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I have to do one more. 10. And then I'm going to switch back to my yellow or mango color for another 10 stitches. Okay. And now we can move on to row 7, and row 7 is again single crochet around in our 24 stitches. And we're going to do 5 yellow for 9 skin and 10 yellow. So you want to go into your first stitch, and but you want to skip this one right here because that's not a stitch there, and it'll throw off your stitch count. So you want to go into this one, and you want to do 5 of your hair color. And then you want to switch to your skin tone for 9. So slip stitch, 2, 3, 4. No, this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you want to switch back to your hair color and do 10. So do your slip stitch. And you want to make sure you're skipping your slip stitches. I forgot to mention at the beginning of this row. Okay. And then now we can move on to our next row. Next row, row 8, is going to be single crochet around in our 24 stitches. And we're going to do 4 yellow, 10 skin, and then 10 yellow. So start off with your yellow color or hair color. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna do 10 skin. So do your color switch, and then skip this little stitch right here that really isn't a stitch and go into the next one. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you want to switch back to your hair color and then just finish off in your hair color. So switch. Oop. So that's the end of row 8. And now we're gonna move on to row 9. So for row 9, you're gonna need your white color, and we're gonna do single crochet around in our 24 stitches using white. So you wanna switch to your white color. And then I wanna skip this one right here. Now, I finished off my row 9, and then instead of putting my C-clip back onto the band that's on my hook, I'm gonna go into the next stitch here, and I'm just gonna grab a different colored band, and then I'm gonna do a slip knot to tie it off for now, while we add her face details, and add her face details, and we're gonna start off by making her nose and doing her eyelashes before we do her hair. So for her nose, you want to start off by tying 2 of your skin tone bands together. That. And then you're gonna want to grab 2 bands and then wrap it around your hook once, and then you're gonna grab all 4 bands and wrap it around your hook again. And then you're gonna slide all these bands onto those 2 bands that we tied together earlier. Oh. Like that. You wanna make sure it's in the center. And then the nose, I'm gonna push this in real quick. I'm gonna put the nose right here on the magic ring. So I'm gonna put it on the magic ring here, and then I'll just slide the 2 bands on the side here. So that. Oh, and I'm gonna flip her inside out real quick, and then I'm just gonna tie this. That, and then I'll flip her back, of course. And then now we're gonna do her eyelashes. So you're gonna need 2 black bands, and you're gonna want to slide a black band through each bead. And then just kind of do a slip knot, or well, not slip knot, but just slide the band through each other and then pull it nice and tight. That. That. Like that. I'm gonna repeat that on the other side. And you want to make sure you're pushing the eye down, so then it just doesn't get stretched out. Oh, I pulled a bit too hard. Also, that band looked like it was about to break. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab some scissors. And then I'm just going to cut some of this from the eyelash. That. And then you can cut these as short as you want or keep them pretty long, however you want. I'm going to cut this a bit more. Oh, don't want to cut too much. This band keeps kind of going in the eye. And then I'm just going to push the eye in. There we go. So now we can do her hair. So we're going to do this part right here and this side, and we'll add like some flowers, and then her braid, we'll add that at the end. So go ahead and grab your hair color. Okay. And okay, so I got my hair color bands. So the way I did this for this one is I chose a stitch somewhere on around on the row where we started with our hair color. So it would be like right here. And then I just chained some and then attached it down here and then did double crochet. So that's what I'm going to do for this one again. So I'm just going to kind of pick a stitch right here on this row. So I'm going to go on this one. Oh. So I'm going to go in this stitch right here. So if you were going to go from the nose going up, I just kind of went like one stitch to the side right there. And then I'm going to slide a band through. And instead of doing a single crochet, I'm going to chain. So I'm going to chain a few bands. So I'm chaining about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I chained 10. So I chained at 10. You can chain more if you want it maybe a bit more looser, or you can chain less if you want it a bit more closer to her head. However you want. And then I'm going to go into this stitch right here by the ear. And then I'll slide a band through this stitch here and through the chain. That. and then we can start doing our double crochet. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do half double crochet along this chain. So what I'm gonna do is, I think, what did I do? Oh, I remember what I did. I kind of did a single crochet sort of. I just kind of slid those bands through each other, and then I'm gonna go into this first chain, and I'm gonna slide a band through the chain, and then now I should have 3 loops on my hook. And I'm gonna slide a band through all 3 loops, and then now I have 2 loops on my hook again. And then I'm gonna go into this next chain here, and I'm gonna slide a band just through the chain, and then I'll have 4 loops, and then I'll slide a band through all 4 loops. Then I'll have 2, and I'm just gonna repeat that until I get up to the where we started. Oh. And then I'm going to go into this very last chain here and do another half double crochet. Like that, and then I'll have something that looks a bit like this, sort of. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 bands off my hook while holding them, and then I'm going to slide them through the opposite way. So then now I have them on my hook like this. And then I'm going to continue doing half double crochet, going into this very first stitch here. And starting off with my half double crochet. Oh. Okay, so I'm on my last stitch right here. Here we go. So now I have something that looks a bit like this. Row. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to quickly do one more row of half double crochet. So I'm on my last stitch here. Well, my last half double crochet. Now I'm just gonna do a slip knot. Make sure it's tight. That. Okay. And then I'm gonna pull this through a stitch here. And I'm just gonna kind of fix with the hair. So I'm gonna kind of move it to where I want it to. Okay. So I'm gonna leave it at about that, and then when I add a flower, I'll fix it up a bit. So now we're gonna move on to this side right here, which would be this part. And for what I did was I laid out where I wanted it, and then I did single crochet. Yeah, I did single crochet. So pull that through. And I'm gonna start somewhere at around the ear here, there. And then I'm gonna do single crochet going up. And then I'll do one more. Okay, so then now I have something like this, and then I'm gonna flip my hook over, and I'm gonna do single crochet along where I just placed my single crochet. Hope that made sense. Looks like I gotta get some more bands. Got a few more bands. Now I can finish off here. And then I'm gonna go into this what kind of looks like a stitch but really isn't. I'm gonna go into there. And I'm gonna do a single crochet in that. Okay, so I'm just gonna do one row. You can do another one if you want. I'm just gonna do one. And then I'm just gonna go into a stitch in the head that's nearby. Slide a band through and through the loop that's on my hook and do a slip knot. That. Oh. Oh my god. And then I'll slide this. Not slide, but pull back in again. And then now I'm gonna put some flowers on. I'm gonna put the pink one and the white one, like how I did for this one. I put a pink one over here and a white one back here. I'm gonna do that again for this one. I'm just gonna put 2 flowers. You can put more than 2. You can put how many you want. So go do stitch right here, and I'm gonna slide my pink one. Then I'm just gonna go through a stitch right here and slide the white one through. That I don't like it there. Go through here and now I'll put it on. There we go. And then now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna try something. No, that won't work. Okay. So I'm going to flip this inside out. That. Make sure everything's pulled in nicely. That. And then, can these two reach each other? Yeah. And then I'm just going to tie this white one with this one over here, with this hair color band over here, because it's pretty close to it. That. Yep. And then for this one, so it doesn't keep coming out, I'm gonna put it on my hook, and then I'm gonna go through a stitch in the head. I'm gonna go through this one, and then I'm just gonna grab a Skintone band and slide it through. Just tight, and I'm gonna repeat that with the pink. Okay, and then I flip it inside back out. It'll look something like this. And the reason my hair, my hair for her right here kind of looks a bit like this, is because when I added the flower, I kind of pushed the hair forward, and then it gave me, and then it looked like that, which is kind of what I was going for. Okay. Oh, gotta fix her eye. This eyelash keeps giving me trouble. Hello. Okay. It keeps moving. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore that for now. So, I think that's all we had to add. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you can add more flowers to the front right here if you want, but I'm just gonna add 2. And now we can continue working on her body. Now we're gonna move on to row 10, and you wanna quickly untie the slip knot you did. Oh, ow, that hit me. Then I'm gonna put my C-clip back on. And for row 10, we're gonna do single crochet around in our 24 stitches. We're gonna be switching to our light purple. We're gonna switch to our light purple, and we're also gonna be adding in our arms in stitches 5 and 10. So go ahead and start by switching to your purple color, your light purple. So, and then we're gonna put our arms in stitches 5. So this is 2, 3, 4, and then this one would be 5 here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my arm, and then I'm going to slide a band through this stitch to this stitch, the loop, and the stitch on the body. So that's stitch 5, and then 6, 7, oh, and then so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 here. So I'm on my 10th stitch, and I'm going to add my other arm here. There we go. And then I'll just finish doing my single crochet. Okay, so now she has her arms, and that's the end of row 10. Now we're going to move on to the next row. Rows 11 through 12, which is 2 rows. We're going to do single crochet around in our 24 stitches in light purple. So I'm going to do a few stitches of row 11 with you guys, and then you'll pause the video and finish off row 11 and do row 12, and then unpause when you're done. So make sure you skip your slip stitch there. So again, like I said, I'm just gonna do a few stitches with you for row 11. Then you'll pause the video and finish off row 11 and do row 12, and then unpause or come back when you're done. So go ahead and do that. I finished up my rows 11 through 12, and now we're gonna switch to our dark purple, and we're gonna do for rows 13 through 14 single crochet around in our 24 stitches. Oh, excuse me. So like I did with rows 11 through 12, I'm just going to do a few stitches with you, and then you'll go ahead and pause the video and then finish off the rows you have to finish off. So you want to do your color switch, and then so if you didn't understand what I said, I'm just going to do a few stitches with you, and then you're going to go ahead, pause the video, finish off your row 13, and then do your row 14, and then you would come back when you're done so we can move on to row 15. So go ahead and do that, and then come back when you're done. So I just finished up my rows 13 through 14, which were 2 rounds of my dark purple here. And now what I'm going to do is we're going to move into row 15, and we're going to do single crochet around in our 24 stitches. Again, we're still in our dark purple, and we're also going to be adding in our legs in this round. So we're going to be adding in our legs to stitches 2 and 7. So go ahead and have your legs ready. I have mine right here. So, I'm going to move that. 1, and then 2, and add my next leg, my first leg. Oh, kind of got stuck. And then 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. No, this is 6. This one's 7. Yeah, this one's 7. So now I'm on stitch 7, and then I'm going to add my next foot. And then now I'm just going to finish doing single crochet until I get to my C-clip. Okay, so that's the end of row 15, and now we're going to be moving on to row 16. So starting with row 16, we're going to start using our white color. So you want to switch to your white, and for row 16 we're going to do single crochet, decrease around to get to 18 stitches. So you want to start with your first single crochet. It's going to be a slip stitch, and then a single, and then you want to decrease. You want to grab the front loop of this stitch, and then the back loop of the next stitch, and then slide your band through. And then repeat that pattern until you get to your stitch, your C-clip or stitch marker. So single, single, oh, decrease, single, single, decrease, single, and then your last two stitches here should be used to do a decrease, like that. Now you should have 18 stitches, so you want to go ahead and count. So skipping your slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 is on my hook. And now we're going to move on to row 17, and row 17 is going to be single crochet, decrease around to get to 12 stitches. So skipping your slip stitch, you want to go into your first stitch and you want to do a single, and then you're going to want to do a decrease, and then repeat that all around. So then single, decrease, single, decrease, single, decrease, single, decrease, and again your last two stitches should be used to make a decrease. So now you should have 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now what we're going to quickly do is, I'm going to slide this a bit down on my hook here, and we're going to go ahead and stuff her up before we completely close her off. So go ahead and grab your stuffing. I have my stuffing right here next to me. Okay. Oh, and then go ahead and stuff her up. Okay, that's enough stuffing. So, once you've finished stuffing her completely how you want her, we can completely close her off now. And we're going to do row 18, which is decrease around to get to 6 stitches and to completely close her off. So no more singles, just complete decreases. Again, just in your white color. Now my last decrease, I'm going to do a slip stitch, a slip knot I mean. I should have removed my C-clip first. There we go. Do a slip knot, make sure it's nice and tight. Then I'm going to slide another band through and kind of slip knot another band onto this band. Oh, I pulled a bit too hard. Yikes. Gotta do that somehow now. Okay, so I took it off and tied another one. And now what we're going to do with this is we're going to go into these 6 stitches right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 right here. You're going to go in those to close her off so there's not a hole right there. So go through those. Oh. You want to go through at least 4, but if you can, go through all 6. And number 6 is right here. Okay, and then you just want to pull. And it kind of just closes everything together. Just like that. Okay, and then you just want to go ahead and hide this slip knot here. So I'm just going to pull it through the top of the body. Oh, got stuck on a purple band. Okay. So there we go. So now we're done closing her up. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, add her skirt, make her braid, and then put the little flowers in. So go ahead and grab your purple color again. We're going to start off by making the skirt. So then you know how long to make your braid or how short. If you want it longer than the skirt or shorter than the skirt. Fixing her arms and legs real quick. So I'm going to start off on going from left to right. So I'm going to be using this row right here, the last row of purple we did. And then going in a stitch that's on top of the foot, the leg here, I'm just going to go through that stitch. I'm going to slide a band through that, and then I'm just going to go single crochet around until I get to the other side. Yep. And then I'm going to stop here at this stitch right on top of the leg here, the other side. Now I have something like this. And then I'm gonna take this band off my hook and then switch it around. So now it's like this. And then I'm gonna do single crochet going back around. And then all we're gonna do now is we're just gonna do single crochet around until until the length you want your skirt. So yeah. I think I'm gonna do maybe 2 rows of single crochet. You can do more if you want a longer skirt or do less if you want a shorter skirt. but I'm gonna do 2 because I don't want it too long or too short. But like I said, you can make it as long as you want or as short as you want. Oh, runaway band. And then, because I want it to be even, because if you kind of look at it, this side is a bit longer than the other. I want it to be even. I'm going to go into where we started, right here, this little thing, where it's technically not a stitch, but I'm just going to go in it, so then it's even with the other side. So now it's even. And then I'm going to switch this again, and turn it around. And I'm going to do another row of single crochet, going to the other side now. So I'm almost near the end here. Like that. I'm gonna go in here. The last stitch. And then on the last one, since I'm only gonna do 2 rows, this one right here was my second row, I'm gonna do a slip knot to just kind of close off the skirt because I don't want it super long. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hide this on the inside right here of the skirt here. So by going through some stitches in here. I'm just gonna pull my slip knot through. That. And you can go ahead and pause the video if you want to make your skirt a bit longer. So go ahead and do that if you want to make your skirt a bit longer. But if you're fine with how your skirt is, if you made yours a bit smaller, then we can move on. But yeah, go ahead and pause the video and make your skirt a bit longer if you want to make it a bit longer. And then come back when you're done, so we can, when you're done making your skirt as long as you want, so you can move on to the next step. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add her braid here. So how I did her braid was I went from a stitch somewhere here in the white, and then I just chained a bit and then put it over here, kind of like what I did here for the hair, where I chose a stitch and then I chained and then went down here. That's kind of what I did for her braid here. So I'm just gonna go into a stitch right here in the head, right here on the white row. I'm gonna slide one of my hairband colors through, and then I'm gonna chain about 4. I think I chained about either 4 or 3. Yeah, I chained about 4 here. And then I'm just gonna go into another stitch here, and then slide it through everything. That. So then you have something that looks sort of like this. And then I'm gonna switch this here. There we go. And then I'm gonna do half double crochet again. So I'm using these stitches right here. I'm just going to be doing half double crochet like how I did for the hair. And you're just going to do this until you have your braid the length you want it. So I want my braid to kind of drape over her skirt a bit. Not too much, but just a tiny bit. So you can make her braid a bit smaller than her skirt or longer than her skirt. And the reason I'm saying skirt is because like it's pretty much part of her body now, so you can make it longer or shorter, however you want. Now I'm going to rotate this again and then do my half double crochet. Yep. It's already getting pretty long. Rotate. So at some point while you're making this, you're just going to be left with one stitch here. So you're going to go into that one stitch and do your half double crochet. Then you're going to go ahead and do another one. So then you pretty much do an increase with your half double crochet. And then you can just continue doing that until you want your braid as long as you want it. Because as you can see, even though I did an increase, I'm still left with one stitch. And I want my braid to be much longer. So I'm going to go ahead and do another increase with my half double crochet. Yep. So I'm just doing that back and forth since I want my braid, like I mentioned earlier, to drape over a bit from the skirt. You have to rotate her around. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more increase with this. That. So now that I have the length of my braid how I want it, as you can see I have my pretty long. It drapes a decent amount off the skirt here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just close it off completely. Yep. So now my braid goes off the skirt a bit, which I really like. So now you're gonna go ahead and grab your flowers that we made in the beginning. So now we're gonna add her flowers to her braid, and I added one just to make sure how we're gonna add them is gonna work, and it is. So you should have tied them on a hair color band instead of the actual hair color of the flower, on a hair color band, because it makes it so much easier. And I didn't notice that. I didn't notice I hadn't done that until I had to actually add the flowers on. So I added one on, and the way we're going to add them on is you're going to go through where you want to put it. So I put one on just to make sure, and I'm going to put this purple one on, and I'm going to side it through where I want it to go. So I want it around here, sort of in the center, making sure I like it. And then what I'm going to do is, gotta quickly fix up this flower. What I'm going to do is, using the band that I just slid through from the flower, I'm going to use it to go through the whole entire braid here. I'm going to go through the braid and over the flower here. And then this just kind of sits like this. And then it just kind of sits the flower down. But since it's a bit loose, since this area is a bit smaller, I can just go over the braid again, like that. And then it sits a bit better. So if you didn't understand that, I'm going to show it again because I have to add this other flower in. Put this one over here. So I'm going to go through the stitch where I want my flower. And I want my flower, my blue flower here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this nice and tight, and I'm going to go through this braid area and then go over the flower. And then since this part is pretty tiny, I am able to go over it again. So around the braid and the flower. It's like putting a hair tie on your hair, except you're putting it on rubber band hair. If that makes sense. Like that. And then the flowers just sit on the hair. And then if you don't like where it's at, it's super easy to remove, which is so much easier. If you were to make a mistake and then you accidentally slip knotted it down, it's easier. And then I'm just going to go ahead and hide the slip knot where I tied off my braid. And that's pretty much the end of our braid. So hopefully the flower part was easy to understand on how you put them on. That's the way I decided to put them on because it seemed pretty easy and understandable. But if that's a bit, but if you weren't able to understand that, you can just go ahead and add them on however you want. And yeah, so if you have another way of adding them on, you can go ahead and do that. Whichever way, you can add them on whatever way you feel best doing. So I feel best doing this because I just really liked doing that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of my, two of my dress colored bands. I'm going to use one from my light purple and my dark purple that I used for my dress. And I'm just going to use it to wrap it around here, just to make it look like she has a little hair tie. And then using the two purples just makes it look really nice. Tie that around. Go once more. Whoop. There you go. Just like that. There we go. So now she has a little hair tie. So, that's the end of this Rapunzel. There's nothing else to add to her. Just move her around, fix this a bit. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's nothing else to add to her. She has her braid, skirt, flowers. Yeah. So that's the end of this Rapunzel tutorial. I hope you like how your Rapunzel came out, and I hope you also enjoyed making her. Her braid looks a bit crooked. That's fine. Doesn't really matter. I like it. Like I was saying, hopefully you enjoyed making her, because I know I did. This was so much fun. She's one of my favorite Disney princess characters, so that made it even funner. But yeah. Thanks so much for following along to this tutorial. If you liked it, please hit that thumbs up button. It lets me know that this tutorial was a good tutorial and that someone liked this tutorial. And yeah. Also subscribe if you liked this type of content. I post tutorials. I post about 3 tutorials each week. And I have so many more designs to post that I can't wait to post a tutorial for. Comment down below if you make her or have any questions. Or you can also tag me on Instagram if you make her. I'll have my Instagram in the description below. And yeah, that's overall it. Have a good day or night wherever you're located at. And I'll see you in my next tutorial.